When the Lanari arrived, they came not as conquerors but as refugees. Their ships limped into Sol space, fractured hulls, melted reactors, life support failing. What had once been a proud, star-faring civilization was now a broken fleet of survivors. Their transmission was simple. We have no weapons left. No home. Please grant us shelter. The United Terran Council debated for 7 sleepless days. The Lanari's reputation preceded them. Mystics of light who had once rivaled the Tsar Dominion in power before their homeworld was consumed by a red giant flare. Millions dead. The rest scattered across the void. Some humans argued that Earth could not risk taking in aliens whose technology might attract the Dominion's wrath. Others remembered old Earth history, how humanity itself had once been refugees on its own planet, scattered by war and famine. The vote passed by a single voice. Earth opened its arms. The first Lanari ship to land descended in silence over the Pacific Reconstruction Zone. It was barely holding together, plating scorched, engines sputtering. When it touched the sea, rescue crews surrounded it. The hatch opened. A figure stepped out, tall and thin, her silver skin marred by radiation scars. Her name was Ilera, High Scholar of the Luminal Archive. She bowed deeply before the human commander. "You have saved us," she said softly. "In return, we offer what remains of our knowledge." The commander, a grizzled veteran named Colonel Ruiz, studied her for a moment, then extended a hand. "We don't need payment. You just need a place to live." Ilera hesitated, unfamiliar with the gesture, then grasped his hand. The contact left faint motes of light in the air. For months, humans and Lanari worked side by side. The refugee fleets were dismantled and recycled into orbital rings above Mars, where engineers began construction on a new habitat, the Sanctuary Halo. It would circle the red planet like a crown, powered by hybrid human-Lanari fusion cores. The Lanari called it Soul Haven. When the first habitat section powered on, its walls shimmered with organic light, breathing like a living thing. Human welders watched in awe as Lanari energy matrices wove themselves into steel. Colonel Ruiz stood beside Ilera, gazing at the growing ring. "You sure this'll hold?" Ilera smiled faintly. "It's more than metal. It's home." But not everyone approved. Beyond Sol's Edge, the Tsar Dominion had noticed movement. Their scouts watched the construction with contempt. To them, the Lanari were fugitives who had defied extinction. And humanity, primitive, unpredictable humanity, had given them sanctuary. The Dominion sent a transmission to Earth's Council. "Surrender the Lanari or face annihilation." The Council's reply was 1 line long. "Come and see." Weeks later, the Dominion's fleet arrived at the edge of Sol. Thousands of ships, bladed silhouettes blotting out the stars. Inside the halo, alarms blared. The Lanari, still rebuilding their lives, panicked. Mothers clutched their glowing children. Elders prepared to die again. But humanity had not been idle. From the Martian surface, silos opened. From Earth's orbit, vast ships emerged, sleek black hulls etched with silver words, Defender-class Guardian Fleet. Ilera stood on the viewing platform beside Ruiz as 20 massive human battleships aligned around Soul Haven. Their reactors hummed with the combined power of 2 species. Ruiz grinned. "We figured you'd need some company." Ilera's eyes widened. "You would fight for us?" "Not for you," Ruiz said. "For what you stand for." The Dominion attacked first. Energy lances lit the void. Human ships met them head-on. Rail slugs the size of freight trains ripped through enemy cruisers. The Lanari, guided by Ilera's calculations, amplified human shield harmonics with light-weaving fields, bending plasma around them like silk. For the first time in a century, humanity fought not for conquest, but for protection. Target their flagships. Ruiz shouted over comms. The UTS Eisenhower roared forward, its engines burning blue-white. 2 destroyers exploded beside it, but it didn't slow. It rammed straight through the Dominion line, releasing a gravity pulse warhead. When the light faded, half the Dominion fleet was gone. The rest broke formation. Then came the moment no one expected. The Lunari, united through their telepathic link, broadcast a pulse across all channels, a sound like music, resonating with every ship's hull. The Dominion's flagship halted. Its admiral, a crimson-skinned warlord, stared into the light surrounding Solhaven. And for the first time in history, a Dominion fleet retreated. When the warships vanished beyond Neptune's shadow, silence fell over the system. Ilera sank to her knees, exhausted. Ruiz helped her up. "It's over," he said quietly. She looked out at the ring, glowing brighter than ever, alive with human and Lunari life. "No," she murmured. "It's just beginning." Decades passed. Solhaven grew into a thriving world in orbit, a fusion of human architecture and Lunari biolite. Children of both species walked under twin suns. Human soldiers trained Lunari peacekeepers. Scientists built schools where physics met light weaving. And circling the habitat at all times were Earth's guardian fleets, silent, vigilant, armed not for conquest but for promise. Whenever new travelers entered Sol space, they saw the great silver ring around Mars and the message engraved along its rim. "Here Earth shelters the lost. Harm them, and you face humanity." On the 50th anniversary of Solhaven's founding, Ilera, now aged, her light dimming, stood before a vast crowd. Beside her stood Ruiz's granddaughter, wearing the insignia of Earth's fleet. 50 years ago, Ilera said, her voice echoing through the open dome, "We came here seeking a home. Humanity gave us one, and guarded it not with fear, but with fire. They did not build walls to keep us out. They built stars to keep us safe." She turned toward the audience, human and Lunari alike. "Remember this truth. Mercy is the greatest weapon ever forged." Above them, a new fleet of Guardian warships drifted in silent formation, shields shimmering with both human steel and Lunari light. And in the Chronicles of the Stars, when other species spoke of that alliance, they did so with reverence. The Lunari asked Earth for shelter, and humanity built them a home, then stood watch with warships until the galaxy learned what it meant to be human.